doing your business, right? Being about your business. All right. So tonight I'm going to talk about 5 things to do now, right? For 2024. Again, like my title says, because your bank account is counting on it. Your bank account is counting on it. Your bank account is counting on it. All right. So number 1, all right. I talked about this in an email that I sent out today. All right. Let's not do resolutions. Okay. If you've had your sights set on resolutions, let's not do resolutions. Because how has the last few years resolutions worked out for you? I'm not judging. I don't know. I'm literally asking you. All right. For me, I know resolutions have always been very, very short-lived. I haven't done resolutions in I don't know how many years. I go into the year with the vision, right? So instead of resolutions, right, let's create strategic action plans. All right. Are you going to sit down somewhere between now, right, and next month or next week, and actually create a strategic action plan, right, for first quarter? Can we just start with first quarter? Right. So instead of resolutions, instead of hoping, wishing, and praying, right, instead of woe is me, instead of hoping the new year can be better, right, let's instead sit down and let's actually create a strategic action plan, right, for the results, for the outcomes that we actually want in 2024. All right. Number 2, I told y'all tonight I'm not trying to be here all night with you, so I'm going to go ahead and get through these. All right. So make sure you have a notebook and you have a pen and you are writing these things down. Number 2, all right, let's try new things. How about that? Let's try new things. You guys, I'm always amazed at how many people will, in this instance, like invest in the roadmap and not actually get anything out of it. It's like they just get in, get set up, and then they rely upon their own whatever to get out there, and they think that's going to be enough to like make a go at this. Do you understand that the roadmap is so much bigger than just get in, get it set up to sell the course? Like there is a wealth of information, a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of opportunity that's in there for you. Learn and earn through the roadmap has ignited something in me. Like I said, I'm going really, really big in 2024. My goal is to inspire a lot of people. You're going to see me move beyond just selling the roadmap as a course. You're going to see me really, really exercising a lot of the skills, right, that I've actually picked up from the roadmap. Right. That again, because I want to be able to help people in so many, like I want people to really be able to know how to make money online, right, in a really, really big way, from a variety of different things. So are you going to decide to try new things? That's what that was about for me. I'm like, all right, Steph, I know you said you weren't going to do this, but everything in me keeps calling me to do it. And so I had to ask myself, like, what am I afraid of? Am I afraid of more money? Am I afraid of another income stream? Am I afraid of, tripling, doubling, quadrupling my income? Like, what am I afraid? I'm not afraid of nothing. Right? I have to remind myself, I'm not afraid of nothing. Right? So number 2, let's try new things. If this year, your whole mantra was what you don't know and how old you are and how long it takes you and you don't know the tech, and all of these limiting things, can we try, right, to reframe those? Can we try that at first? Can we try to reframe those things, right, to set us up in a more positive light, right? If you never thought that you would do something, but you know it could be very advantageous for your business, your direction, your vision, your bank account, right, can you try it, right? Worst thing is it doesn't work for you. Worst thing is it's a lesson learned, because do we really believe in failure? Do you believe in failure? Or do you just simply believe it's a lesson learned, that maybe it just wasn't for you? Or maybe you need to brush up on your skills so you can get better, right, at it. I just don't believe in failure, right? Therefore, I'm open to try new things, right, if the old things have not gotten me to where I want to be. All right. One of the things just this year, right, as far as new for me, was actually getting very, very strategic, like sit down, pen to paper, research, using tools, strategic. I'm very much a fly by the seat of my pants kind of girl. That's not getting me to $1 million. Got me to 6 figures, not going to get me to $1 million. Right? These are the things I share with you guys, right? Because I want you to have an easier road, believe it or not. Number 3, okay, let's focus on facts, not feelings. Say it again. Let's focus on facts, not feelings. This comes down to consistency. Oftentimes when we're not consistent in our business, right? It's because we're more focused on our feelings, what we feel like doing, right? Not focus on the facts of I've got to do this. This has to get done. Because if any of us believes that the people we admire out there feel like doing every single thing that we see them do in their business, we would be sadly mistaken. If you think I feel like going live, doing videos, emailing my list, showing up for mentorship calls every single time, no, you'd be sadly mistaken if you think I feel like it every single time. I don't, right? But it's what is called for my business, right? It's the facts of what needs to be done in my business. And facts don't care about our feelings. Consistency, right, doesn't care about our feelings, right? There are things that we've got to decide to do, all right? So number 3, right, can we focus on facts over feelings so that we can move into a much more consistent state inside of our business? Again, why? Because your bank account, right, is counting on it. Your bank account is banking on it. All right. Every bit of my success, anytime where I'm like, it was explosive, where I had a breakthrough, right? It was because I was so doggone consistent with just a handful of things that worked amazingly for me. That's it. And you guys pretty much see that. It's my YouTube channel and my email list. Those are the 2 things, right? Those are the 2 things that got me the 6 figures. Those are the 2 things that got me well above 100,000. Those are the 2 things. Right? Consistency in those things. All right. You've got to figure out where the consistency is going to be for you, what platform it's going to be on, what you're doing on a daily basis, right? What your activities are, what your thought process is. Believe it, it's consistency in everything, right? I want you to try this on for size. Think about some of the lowest times in your life, right? And think about maybe several lowest times in your life. Were there common denominators with how you felt? Were there common denominators with the things you were telling yourself, right? What were the common denominators that were negatives, right? Are you trying to bring those negatives into a new positive situation? Are you going for a breakthrough, yet you find these negatives, right, are in the midst of this breakthrough? If you've ever had really, really good times and up times, what were the feelings? What were the emotions? Right? What were the actions? If they were consistent among several different upswings or breakthroughs, right? Are we going to bring that into, right, our first quarter breakthrough? Right? You really have to decide, right, upon how you want first quarter to look and really begin to do your work on who you're going to be, right, to bring this about. It's not just new year, new me. How is that working out for the majority of the internet? No, instead, again, it's like the first step, right? Let's decide to create strategic action plans. All right. And that's the thing. I love the fact that the roadmap gives us that. The roadmap gives us every opportunity, right, to figure out exactly what we want, how we want to achieve it, and the action plans, right? The roadmap to actually go about and do it. And then inside of my mentorship, you get even more insight when it comes to that, right? So we have the tools at our disposal. And if you're not in the roadmap, I want to highly encourage, right, that you get in it, because this is going to be the foundation, right, to help you learn digital marketing and the business of online business the way that you need to learn it, right, to get your breakthrough, right, in 2024. All right. I don't know about you, but my sights for first quarter are 6 figures. 6 figures in the first 90 days. I need them to be that. I need to get a very, very strong jump on 2024 if it's going to be my $1 million year. So you guys, like, these aren't just, these are fun facts that I picked up in a book. No, this is how I'm approaching my 2024 conversations that I had. And I'm just kind of giving you guys a little tidbit of it, right, to help you on your journey as well. I really do hope that you do find them helpful and that you do decide to take them very, very seriously. All right. Number 4. All right. Let's double down on what matters. So oftentimes you guys hear me talk about doubling down, right? Like on our niche, doubling down on our content, right? Like doubling down on our action plan. Like when we figure out something's working, to double down on it. I want you to be so hyper-focused and hypersensitive to what's going on inside of your business. And when you figure out what's working, to decide to double down, right? One of the biggest things to double down on is for sure your niche. That is where I've seen the most people struggle this year, right? Is that they're talking loud, saying nothing, right? Because they're not talking to a niche. If you want to get rich, market to a niche. If you want to go broke, market to all the folk, right? You got to double down on your niche, all right? Double down on your content. Double down on your consistency. Double down on your showing up, right? Understand, again, they used to always say this when I was in MLM and network marketing so many years ago, but it's something I never forget, right? If it's going to be, it's up to me. May sound cliche, but it couldn't be truer, right? If it's going to be, it's up to me, right? Which means you got to lock in, right? You got to create the focus. Yes, you heard me right. You got to create the focus, right? And you got to decide to double down on what's going to get you results. Right? From people that I get to work closely with, or I just have a lot more conversations with, there's common denominators, right, that they bring from year to year that's stopping them from succeeding. I'm not going to say the word failure. It's not what it is. They just haven't decided to succeed yet because they keep bringing these excuses, right, these limiting beliefs, these limiters, right, into the next year with them. Right? We can't do that. Right? We've got to decide what it is that we want and how, right, this next year is going to be different. How are we going to be different going into, right, this next year? And with me making this pivot, there are a lot of things about my coaching experience, my desire to help people that I've got to shake. You're going to see the next point, right? Like there are things, again, that when I was in coaching, it was a limiter, right, on my expansive growth. And I've got to let those things go. And I've got to put my life best on first. And I got to go do it big for myself. And I got to just simply run and know that those that are going to run with me, like they'll figure out how to run. They'll figure out how to catch the speed. That I got to stop circling back and trying to grab people. That I got to stay the course, knowing that I'm actually clearing the path, right? I'm clearing the path. So that those that want to keep up or those that want to keep going, the path is then clear for them. Number 5, let's block out that which doesn't contribute. Let's block out that which doesn't contribute. So when you figure out where it is that you're going, you have your vision, right? I know 6 figures first quarter 2024. Okay, it's $100,000 or more, no less, first quarter. It's got to be that. So my job is to block out anything that doesn't contribute to that kind of growth. Anything that's small, anything that's limiting, anything that's a hindrance, anything that's an obstacle, anything that's impeding my mind, anything, right? I've got to block that out. So that's another reason why it's so important to know where it is that you're going, so you can steadily recognize people, resources, tools, opportunities, right, that are in direct alignment with helping you in getting there. Because if you can recognize the opportunities, which is all of those things, right, people, resources, and tools, when you can recognize what's in alignment with getting you there, guess what? You can also recognize what is not in alignment with getting you there as well. Right? And then you can opt, right, to not do those things and to do the things that actually contribute to getting you to where you want to go. All right? So I want you to take some time, right? Really think about 2024. Okay? Think about your big vision for 2024. And then figure out what you've got to do for first quarter. Like figure out like, no, this is what the outcome needs to be for first quarter. Right? And then sit down and really like meditate on what I just shared tonight. Create your strategic plan. Figure out what are you going to try new, right? Things that you've put off, but you know that if you tried them, right, that they possibly could be the things that are going to get you to your next levels. Right? For some of y'all, it's just deciding that you're going to actually learn from that which you invest in. That you're going to actually like maybe complete the roadmap by the end of the year. And then you're going to start applying the things that you learn from the roadmap directly back into your business. right? That you're going to use the roadmap as a way to put your own life best on. Those of you guys that get in now and you get my mentoring for all of 2024, don't squander it, right? You get a whole year of free mentoring. The year after that, you pay for it, right? The year after that, you pay for it. So for anyone that gets in now, right, you get a whole year of mentorship in my support community. Do not squander it. All right. Use this to get you to your next levels for 2024. And that's a call to action for anyone out there that might have been thinking about the roadmap, right? Or Passive Profit Millionaire. If you feel like that's a better, option for you, it's just the roadmap has just done so much for me, right? I've learned so much from both. Don't get me wrong. But when I look at the vision that I hold right now, Passive Profit Millionaire is partly responsible for it because I have a newfound respect for digital products. But one thing I know about digital products is I'm not creating any more of them. That's a spoiler going into 2024. I'm going to make a boatload of money from digital products. I'm just not going to create them. And I'm going to open up so many opportunities for other people that want to be able to make money in the same way, right? Far beyond just the roadmap. See, what's beautiful about the roadmap is if someone truly wants to be successful selling digital products, right? Selling anything online, they actually need what's in the roadmap. That's the gotcha. That's the gotcha. They need what's in the roadmap. So it's advantageous for each and every one of us, right? To position ourselves to not only learn from the roadmap, but also to offer it to other people, because that's a nice chunk of change every single time, right? Someone buys the roadmap from you, right? Imagine a sale a day. You've heard my stories. Right? I've had many days where I've earned in one day what it would have taken me 100+ hours to earn working full-time as a nurse in one single day. And to have multiple of those days in a month, it kind of lets you know what the possibilities are, right? When you decide to get serious about this and really treat this as a business, not a lottery ticket, not something get rich quick. Nothing about this is overnight. It's a process. All right. So number one, let's create a strategic action plan. Number two, let's try new things. Number three, let's focus on facts and not feelings so that we can be way more consistent inside of our business. Feelings take us out of consistency. Facts, right, keep us doing what we know we need to do to drive our business forward. Number four, let's double down on what matters. Figure out what matters in your business, right? Like I'm still trying to figure out like if shorts on YouTube is what matters in my business. I'm willing to try new things. So I'm definitely doing new things. I'm learning this process. But then as I dive into my analytics, here we go at business talk, right? The analytics let me know if shorts actually matter to my business. If I get to a point that I realize, okay, this has been a great learning experience, but based upon analytics, right, they don't matter for my business growth, then I'm not going to double down on it. Right now, what I do know is that uploaded content and live streams, right, they contribute to my business growth. Those are areas worth doubling down on. Is that a good example for you guys, right, on how to figure out like where to double down on things that actually matter? It means that you actually have to learn how to treat and look at your business as an actual business. All right, y'all. And again, that's why this course is so important. That's why my mentorship is so important. All right. This, you're not going to get to your next levels just riding on the surface, just throwing content up and thinking that's enough and then never diving into analytics, never getting help with this stuff. All right. So number four, you're going to double down on what matters. All right. There are certainly things in my business this year that I've done, even this last quarter that I did, where I'm like, I don't think I'm doubling down on that in 2024. I just don't think I'm doubling down on it because I don't think it really made a difference. It doesn't matter. My income didn't change because of it. In many instances, there are some things I'm like, oh my God, that took so much of my time. It bogged me down. Did it change other people's lives? Did it change my own life? Nope. So we're not going to repeat that. right? So like you have to pay attention to your business. All right. And I'll tell you one thing, in 2024, I'm opening up way more free time for myself, right? Because again, through mentorship, I know what to look for. All right. And then the final one, right? Let's block out that which doesn't contribute. And that goes hand in hand with doubling down on what matters, right? So you're going to block out that which doesn't contribute. That might mean people. That might mean resources, right? A lot of people are like, Steph, don't delete me off your email list, right? Again, block out that which doesn't contribute. We have to look at everything, right? Everything. What doesn't contribute, right? All right, let's segment. Let's block off the people that aren't opening, that aren't clicking, right? Again, if shorts aren't working for me, let's stop doing shorts and focus more on uploads and live streams, right? If certain little extra things I'm doing is not working, right? It's not contributing to growth, I block those things out and I do more of what's actually working. All right. So focus on those 5 things. Because again, like I said, your bank account, right, is banking on it. Your bank account is counting on it. And there's no possibility that 2024 can be any different, right? If you don't decide to bring a different person into 2024. All right. You guys all say this and I'll share this in closing. Well, first off, for anyone that decides to get started tonight, all right, if you go to makemoneyonlinewithsteph.com, you'll see there that I sell the roadmap, I sell Passive Profit Millionaire, and now I actually have them both in a bundle where you can actually purchase them both in the bundle and get a payment plan for both products together. So you'll see all of them there. Decide to get started with either course. I feel like if you were new and you're like, you don't have a handle on digital marketing, you don't really understand the business of online business, like if maybe a lot of things I talked about tonight has gone over your head. If you are brand new, if you're struggling, like all the things, right? The roadmap is definitely where I would recommend that you get started. But you decide to invest in either one, and you're going to get my mentorship for all of 2024 first. That includes my mentorship hub, which is being totally redone. And that's where you can access my mentorship hub 24/7, 365. You can go in and out of it as much as you want to and grab lessons and grab resources. I do a lot of updates. I do in 2024, I'll be doing master classes, focus heavily on content and niching because that's where really people are hurting right now. So it's a whole nother hub of learning. And it really is to help you more with mastering, right? What you actually learn as a foundation in the roadmap. All right. And also in Passive Profit Millionaire, right? So it helps you with the mastery. So you'll get access to that for an entire year, right? And then you'll also get access to my support community, which gives you access to office hours all throughout 2024. All right. So going into 2024, my office hours will only be for those that are a part of, that community moving forward. And so all of that, right, included for free, right, when you get started with either one of the courses. And now decide to get started tonight. All right. If you're like, I've heard enough, I've been on your lives, I've watched your videos, right? I'm ready to get started. Get started. I don't care which one. Choose the one that makes the most amount of sense for you. Afterpay and Klarna are set up with both, right? So you can get started. Like, I think worst case scenario, right? You can get started for $125 with the roadmap. All right. And then it's broken into 3 more payments after that. $125, right? To get access to all of this that's going to help you with your online business breakthrough. Like, it's crazy. And again, that's a skill that I was able to pick up inside of the roadmap, was actually how to extend these payment plans without it being a risk to me, right? Doesn't involve me whatsoever, but I learned how to use these apps, right, to be able to help people get started with very simple payment plans. All right. Some people have been able to get started for as little as $43 and they've been able to pay over a year. It just depends upon what you qualify for with the app. All right. Email me once you get started, right? And I'm going to send you a list of my done for you digital product library. And you're going to have your choice of digital product that you'll have master resale rights to as well, giving you another product that you can actually sell inside of your business. All right. Right now, I think I have like 21 of them. They're gorgeous. They're in Canva. Like, they're all done. right? And you have the rights to rebrand them, and you have the rights to sell them as your own. All right. Some of y'all are going to come to know how valuable these products are when I launch the new phase of my business going into 2024. So get started tonight, right? And you're going to have a brand new, extra shiny digital product that you can, again, rebrand and sell as your own. And you're going to have your choice. Because I don't know your niche. I don't know what you want to do, right? I don't know how you want to serve people. I don't know how you want to help people. So you'll have the list and you can choose which one, right, you want to bring to the marketplace. All right. Go to makemoneyonlinewithsteph.com to get all the information. And remember these 5 things. I hope you took notes, right? These 5 things. All right. Y'all, let's decide to make 2024 a breakthrough year. Oh, I was going to share something before that. I was trying to avoid sharing it because I didn't want to get choked up. A lot of you guys know my story of 2023. I'm sorry, 2013. So 2013, when I had my major breakthrough. I had like less than $200 in my bank account. So for those that don't know my story, I got started in 2007. Had an amazing start, made a lot of sales, made a lot of money really quickly inside of my business, went from having no savings to having savings, was able to pay off payday loans within like 30 to 60 days once I got started. Just did some really, really crazy things, right, in such a short period of time of starting my online business. And for quite a few years, I did exceptionally well. I did so well. My husband was like, hey, why don't you go flex? Right. I was working full time as a nurse. So I went flex on my job, which means basically no full-time benefits. And they were paying me more per hour because basically I was at their disposal. They could put me on the schedule however and whenever they wanted to. And I was working less hours throughout the week, less days. And so I went flex, right? Still kept doing exceptionally well my job. Imagine working and earning full time and like earning between $6,000 and $8,000 a month. That was my scenario when I was getting started about 2 years into my business, working full time and like $6,000 to $8,000 a month through my digital business. Went to work one day and I wasn't on the schedule, like for the next schedule. And I said, hey, what's up? Basically, they didn't need flex workers anymore. They'd actually found full time. I put myself in a situation by going flex. I didn't even realize it. I had no idea this would even happen to me. And basically, instead of going out there and looking for another job like I should have, because my husband and I had not agreed upon it, right? I just said, you know what? I'm just going to take this as an opportunity just to go out there and just like go balls to the wall with my business, right? And take this baby, I'm going to open it up. And the exact opposite happened. Like my business began to take a dive, and it began to take a dive because I had so much time on my hands. I was entertaining all of these shiny objects, right? I was all over the place. I'm telling you guys this story because I want you to understand how incredible focus is. Like I had less time on my hands and my money was doing good because I was limited, right? I was limited on what I could focus on. When I could focus on everything, right? I started focusing on everything. And I went from the kind of money you just heard me talk about, right, to like $1,400 months. And so the end of 2012, right? And in between then, a lot of other things happened. I was in Beachbody. I made good money with Beachbody. And I had a lot of crazy experiences in between that time and 2013. But the last few months, I remember it was Christmas and I felt devastated because like money was just so horrible. And that Christmas was just like scraped together. And it was just bad, just bad. And so went into the next year, right? Like I always say brink of divorce, probably not brink of divorce, but it was just sucky. It was a really, really sucky time, right? And then that opportunity was presented to me in 2013. I believe it was May or June. And that's when I was down to like my last $200. And I was like, I can either, look at this $200 and I share this. Probably many of you guys out there can relate to this, right? And y'all, here's the thing. Like I tell this story and people laugh at me. I have this thing, money's everywhere. So literally I lay $100 bills all over the place. $100 bills by my bed, $100 bills in my office. Like literally, I just lay $100 bills everywhere because I want to always be reminded that money is literally everywhere. You see how things can change? But that just came to mind as I was thinking about being down to my last $200. And I said, I could either decide to like spend this $200 on stuff we need for the house, right? Like I could use it as an excuse because I knew that there were still provisions to handle things for the house. I said, or I can go ahead and decide to bet on myself and at least give myself an opportunity to multiply this money. Because if I just spend this on groceries or something, and again, understand responsibly, I knew there were provisions. All right. But if I use it as an excuse, which that's what a lot of people do, right? I give myself no opportunity to multiply it. And I'm in the same situation, right, yet another month because I don't have an opportunity for growth. And so I took the $200, I invested it into the thing, right, like $147. I remember I invested the money. It took me a couple of days for it to settle in that I was doing this. And I was still kind of second guessing myself. I'm like, am I doing the right thing? And do you know why? Is because right before that, like some of these memories just pop up. The reason I was second guessing it for a couple of days is because I had just like went gung ho with another business opportunity, right? And I remember when I invested into this thing and then 2 days or 3 days into it, I'm like, you know what? No, I'm going to do this. And I remember I said, Steph, you're going to get set up. Like, you know what to do. Go create your capture page. Like, go build your system. And then once you have it done, you're not going to touch. You're going to get out there on YouTube and you're going to do your thing. You're going to start building your business and funneling people into the system. I had everything set up, my capture page, the thank you page, which had Larry Marcus doing the presentation. I didn't recreate the wheel. And then my email automations were set up in the background. So when people opted in, they all got the same emails. And I just got out there on YouTube every single day and I did my thing, right? And I remember I said, Steph, now's the time. You got to email your email list and let them know you're burning the bridges. You can let them know that, like I know I said this is where I was going, right? But everything in me tells me this is where I need to be right now. Like I literally bit the bullet, y'all. That was so hard, right? And you know what? Do you know what? The people that were like ride or die, they were like, Steph, we are with you. I was like, what? So I bit the bullet, burned the bridges, right? Went hardcore. I made a goal and I said, my first 30 days, I want to do 3,000. I ended up doing 6,000 in my first 30 days. And I remember 3 weeks into it, my first week, I made just over 900. The second week I had made just over 1,000 in the second week. So that was like what, $1,600 total. The third week, we're talking about just the week all by itself. Larry Marcus reached out to me and he said, Steph, this is the first time we'd ever spoken because I was like, I can't wait for him to know my name. Like because I'm used to being on leaderboards. Like I'm used to being known. If I do something, like you're going to know who I am. And I was like, I can't wait for him to like know who I am. I can't wait till I can be on company calls. And he reached out to me on week number 3 and he was like, Steph, he's like, why am I getting ready to deposit over close to $3,000 into your bank account? And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, like that's how much your earnings are for this week. And then from that point on, that's when things just changed for me because that's when, and here, please hear me on this. That's when I started to understand what it was to have your money multiply and not just add. It was the first time where it was like, I could pay bills and still have more money in my account than I did from back in the day. Like I was paying bills and the money was there and I was putting a certain percentage into my savings. And then I could remember going into the bank and the teller asking, Steph, do you always keep balances this high? And I was like, I guess, because I hardly ever go into the bank. But in this instance, I needed to go in for a larger withdrawal. And she said, do you always keep balances this high? And I'm thinking, have you guys ever had someone ask you that? I was like, I guess, like, I didn't know how to answer it. I'm like, yes, I don't know. I'm new to this, right? And so my first month, I made 6,000 just for that first 30 days. And then the second month, I was at a total of $17,000. And I remember at that point, 17,000 total. So 6,000, which would have meant I made like 11,000 in the second 30 days. And I can remember just this feeling of, I got it. Like I have found the thing. Right. And I'm just going to ride this baby. And in my mind, I kept seeing it growing. Like I just kept seeing it growing. And I did well with that company for like almost 3 years before. He had a stroke, passed away. The company was a one-man show and it went away just like that. I didn't mean to share all of that story with you, right? I really just wanted to share like the whole idea of things were so horrible, right? Just months prior to me having that breakthrough with that company. And then that next Christmas, literally, I remember it was Black Friday. And I remember I was at Target. And I remember I had loaded up the cart with all these things. My kids were little at the time, like little enough to like totally like make it right with them. That's what I did. I'm like, we're making it right this Christmas, like, right? And I remember loaded up my cart, and I remember I was sitting in the checkout. Y'all, it's crazy. Like literally, I went to Walmart prior to Target with my husband. I could not believe the difference. Like it was civilized shopping at Target on Black Friday. But I was like, I was at my cart waiting to get checked out. And I remember I was on my phone, and all I could think about was, this is such a freaking blessing. Like, because I could remember how just the year prior, like my husband and I were like this because of bad financial because of me. He had the stable job. Like he didn't do nothing wrong. It was me. But we were like this, and it was so uncomfortable. If you've ever been in a situation like that, you know what I'm talking about. It's like, you know, you're the culprit, and you're like, I don't want to look at you because I know. Like that's where I was. That's why I tell you guys, when I say he's amazing, I'm so glad to have his support, his everything. Right? Almost all of my business tools are because of him. Seriously. He sees I need things, he just gets them for me. He's invested into my business. Like he's been a silent investor over so many years into helping me with getting started and upgrading. But I just remembered how uncomfortable that was. And I was like, wow, how fast things can change. But then I also thought about how fast, right, we can make bad decisions and lose things as well. Y'all, with this pivot, like I just realized how fast you can decide, I don't like the direction of my business, of my income, of my life, and you can decide to change it. Like I'm just going to say it. It's stupid to let $500 stop you. It's stupid. All right. And I know I say that at a really, really rough time of year, but is it a rough time of year? When you compare what it is that you want, is it a rough time of year? I know how fast things can change when you want them to change. And that was me with this pivot. I was like, I just can't see another year with this kind of practice, with this kind of business. I just can't, because I didn't feel fulfilled. And now, because of one investment, I see a whole new world of possibility. What I've been able to do in my business because of a pivot with different information, a different structure, what I'm going into 2024 with all the inspiration, with all the ideas. Now, this is why I go so hard, and I don't even feel like I'm going that hard right now. Because I just can't be I feel like I have a secret. Like I feel like I know something that either other people know I know, but they don't think it's real, or that they're afraid, or whatever. And my truest feeling, right? My truest emotion, not a feeling like we were talking about tonight, but my truest emotion around this, if I was sitting down with you one-on-one, I would say, we're not letting $500 stop you from a decision that's going to get you further along in this thing. Because without it, the cost is far more than $500 for frustration, for failure, for not knowing, for being lost, for being blindfolded, trying to be out there in the middle of the sea or middle of the ocean. The cost is far more. I am telling you, 2024, right? Your breakthrough in 2024, it comes down to you making a decision, deciding what it is that you want, right? Deciding to have a strategic plan, deciding to try new things, focusing on facts, not feelings, so that you can be hecka consistent, doubling down on what matters, and blocking out that which does not contribute, right? If you want to roll, my information is down below in the description. I kept y'all longer than I anticipated tonight, but I hope by sharing a little bit more transparency and realness about my own journey, because I hear a lot. I'm lucky and I have the Midas touch and I make this look easy, right? But I've also been through my share. I have been through my share, But unlike a lot of people, I have always figured out a way. I have always figured out a way. And what I will honestly tell you, literally, money's never, in all these years I've been online, 16 years, money's never been the reason for why I did not invest in myself or bet on myself, ever. And again, I thank my awesome husband for that collab, because I know the cost of not is far more than the cost of doing and having. And I think anyone that has been made better because of this decision would say the same thing, right? It's all a learning curve. It's all tough, but imagine doing it without. I know what it's like doing it without. I had to piecemeal my education together over many, 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 many years. I now get to hand over in a nice, organized fashion all of the information to help people get a successful start and have a successful run at an online business. And to me, that's just stinking beautiful. And so when my feelings get in the way, I don't feel like going live or doing what I do, I know I must. Because I feel like I've got to expose this secret to way more people that just don't know how good this is. I really hope that I could share some insight, some inspiration. Hopefully I empowered you. I love to inspire, but if I'm not empowering you, right, to go for what you want, what am I really doing? So if you would love to lock in mentorship for the entire 2024, all you got to do is just make the decision, right? Make the decision, right? Don't look back and let's just go for it. And again, if you get started tonight, right, shoot me over an email, say, girl, I heard you're live, I got started, right? And I'll send you over the list of digital products for you to choose from, all right? Done for you, gives you something else that you can actually, that you can edit, rebrand, and resell as your own, right? It's all about income streams, you guys, in 2024. It's all about income streams. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of my journey. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You guys have a fantastic night. Take action, and I'll see you guys back tomorrow.